present an interesting question. If you want to describe these as weaknesses, if you will, Stafford has thrown all the picks. Burrow gets hit all the time.
Yeah.
Which one of those turns into the bigger problem here and thus maybe determines the outcome of the Super Bowl, Jeff?
Interceptions, without a doubt. And listen, you saw on the graphic, it's not only interceptions, it's pick sixes, which is enormous. And you talk about momentum swinging in a game, especially the Super Bowl. More games are lost than won. And situations like that, when teams can capitalize and take you either out of the red zone or go score themselves, it becomes enormous. The number one factor for the Rams to win the game is Stafford protecting the football. And he has played incredible in the playoffs, but those interceptions, that's going to be the key factor for this game.
You made the same point this morning as a guy who played on all those Patriot teams.
Well, you have to think most games, these big games in the playoffs are decided by turnovers.
Yeah.
And the two Super Bowls that I won, we all know the Russell Wilson interception on the 1 yard line, and we know the Matt Ryan fumble with Dante Hightower. That really changed the momentum of that game. So if you look at it, turnovers, I know we say it every single week, but that is the number one factor in the playoffs. If you turn the football over, you might lose. And that one or two, you don't know if it's going to be the one, but I'm telling you, if you turn the ball over, you lose football.
And let me say this, for this game in particular, the moment feels so big that it's not the normal, 16 or 17 game stretch, right? We can get this back. Like the moments feel enormous.
Exactly.
And so that momentum swing is so much bigger in this game than other games.
Hembo, with the stats here, teams that win the turnover battle in the Super Bowl, they're 38-6 in the Super Bowl. 38-6.
It's a pretty good percentage. And it actually, Kmart, it's interesting because you've got a quarterback who's 34 years old and been around a long time in this game, and then you have the kid in his second season. Yeah. Which one do you have more confidence in to handle all of this on Sunday?
100% Joe Burrow. And that's scary. That's scary because think about it. His rookie year was curtailed by that devastating knee injury. So he's almost like a redshirt freshman in a sense, but he walks around like he's a vet. And part of the reason you believe in this team is because of that. When you talk to players on this team, as you know, I'm the ESPN Ohio state bureau reporter. I've covered the Bengals a lot this year. And when you talk to these guys like Joe Mixon and T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, they talk about Joe Burrow it's the poise. That's what they love. It's not, we love the swag. I love the swag. But they love the poise because no matter what, he's getting knocked around. It doesn't faze him, which is crazy when you think about how young he is.
Do you buy that, Dominique, the idea that while Burrow is 9 full years younger than Matthew Stafford and has so much less NFL experience, that when you consider all the big games he's played and everything else, that the edge in that regard in this game actually goes to Cincinnati?
Yeah, I absolutely think if you're going between those two quarterbacks in isolation, I think Joe Burrow is probably more comfortable. But back to the turnover point, I think that both of those guys are right, that the turnovers are a big factor. But in my view, turnovers are about opportunities. It's how many times you throw it at the team and how many times they catch it, how many times you fumble. And those sacks, those are turnover opportunities too. So I think that you guys are underappreciating how dangerous it is to give up a bunch of sacks. Those are sack fumbles that could turn into turnovers and short fields for the other team. So I think that the interceptions are less of a problem than the pressure is going to be for Joe Burrow.
You talking in my good ear, bro. You know I love you, Fox. You know I love you. Bring that O-line in, how important we are. Protect Joe Burrow. Zach's got to be down. My dog, that's
So
what I'm talking about.
Then why'd you go with the interceptions then? You know the truth.
If you guys gave up, your offensive line gave up 9 sacks. Joe Burrow seems to act as though that's just part of the game plan. How would Peyton Manning have handled that?
We're getting Gatorade coolers dumped on people. We're getting some words that we can't say on this family show being spit out at us. I can rest assured, people getting fired in Indy if we give it up 9 sacks. We give up 9 sacks in a season. Dang sure ain't giving up in a game. If we did, all hell would break loose in the Indianapolis Colts organization. They are protecting it, dude. It's crazy. I have never seen a player, and to Kimberly's point, as calm and as collected as he is, it's like he can push forward to the next play, and he's just as relaxed. It's incredible, like his ability to put that poor play behind and move forward and still lead his football team. I'm telling you, I have never seen a quarterback deal with, and you're talking about the greats, whether it's Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Drew Brees.
It sounds crazy for me just saying the words out loud. Is it crazy?
I mean, it is crazy to think that he has that poise because as a defensive lineman, when you get after the quarterback, we used to say we're in his head. We're getting,
Yes, sir.
We're getting at his feet. And when you start to get pressure on the quarterback in the pocket, they start to get antsy. They start to get a little uncomfortable. They start to look at the rush. And he still evaluates the field and he goes to the proper receiver. That is the most impressive thing. Usually when a quarterback is rushed often and he gets hit a lot, he starts looking at the rush. And then that messes everything up. All the timing, all the routes.
They get happy feet.
They get nervous in the pocket. And that's every – even Tom, let me tell you about Tom.
I was going to say, talk about Tom. Talk about it.
We used to – I mean, he'd do the ghost duck. Like if somebody was close, he'd duck.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you know Peyton Manning? He fell down.
He fell down. Dudes would just run over to try to touch him just to get that sack. Yeah.
I'm down. You know? So and I'm on the sideline screaming, stay up. Stay up. Tom, don't fall. And he'll fall down. I'm like, oh, he fell.
Okay, Mark.
All the man's secrets.
Okay, Mark. The Burrow piece of this, however, is they've done everything you're not supposed to do.
Yeah.
They went down 21-3 on the road against Patrick Mahomes. That's a game that you were not supposed. Well, you played that game 100 times. You should not win it once.
Yeah.
So it doesn't seem to me that any of the rules necessarily apply when it comes to
That is
him.
what is beautiful about this Bengals team because they technically shouldn't be here, you know, with this young quarterback, this young head coach, all these receivers. This is a team that week after week, they were inconsistent throughout the early part of the season. But the second half of the season, they've been down. They found every single way to win a game, down to the Chiefs. They've beaten Derek Carr and the Raiders. They've beaten Ryan Tannehill and the Titans. A full complement with Derrick Henry and this Titans offense. And then they beat the Chiefs on the road. Every single time you think, oh, well, Joe Burrow's good, but there's no way they're going to do this. They say, hey, guess what? We're here.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.